Our first matchup is the quarterback matchup, of course. We're going Matthew Stafford versus Anthony Richardson. Now, again, these segments are made to help you make a start sit on your roster. You may have drafted AR5 super, super high and got Stafford late. That's a realistic situation. So now you're looking at this going, man, do I start Anthony Richardson, who I drafted high, who I have stock in, but can't throw a ball? And he plays a professional quarterback position. Or do I start old busted Matthew Stafford with both of his wide receivers on the IR? What do we do? Because some people, I guarantee someone's in this spot. So this is where we're at. So Justin, this is your team. This is our team. This is our quarterback, right? Go
That's a great
Colts.
reference. That is a great reference. I appreciate that you understand that reference. And for the rest of you that don't, just search Colts Twitter and Instagram. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, this is tough because you're still hoping that Anthony Richardson will be a thing. Where are they? They're at home against the Steelers this week. That's the tough part. This is the tough part here is the matchups because you look at this and you're going, yeah, Anthony Richardson against the Steelers, great. But then if you think about the last 3 weeks and what the Steelers defenses have done, this is the lowest scoring. Like the Steelers don't let people score. They do not let the other team score. They've allowed, I think, the least amount of points by any team over the first 3 weeks. This is going back into like the 70s and 80s, Josh, around your time, I think,
Mm,
for the Steel Curtain and everything. So
yeah.
this is one of the best Steelers defenses the league has ever seen. The Rams, on the other hand, are going up against the Bears, who have a good defense. It's not the Steelers. They have a good defense. If you look at experts and you go to some of the websites that we may or may not use for a lot of our stats, not going to throw any websites under the bus. 21 out of 21 experts will tell you to start Anthony Richardson over Matthew Stafford. They will. They'll straight up tell you that. Everybody has him ranked higher. Everybody expects him to do better, even with Stafford having a better matchup against the defense. But we got to look at what the two are doing. Matthew Stafford is still scoring. No, he's not scoring in the red zone. He has literally like no rushing attempts in the red zone. He has no rushing attempts, period. But he doesn't score nearly as much points as Anthony Richardson in the red zone. I would lean starting Matthew Stafford this week against the Bears.
Fair, fair, understandable. He has a career high right now in completion percentage, 68.3, literally the highest he's ever thrown for in a season. I know it's only been 3 games, but here's my problem. He's very limited. Very, very. You love these. I don't have my glasses.
I'm
Um, I don't have my
having a
glasses.
gut reaction all of a sudden, but
No, but he's just very, very limited when it comes to scoring. He doesn't get anything on the ground. 0 attempts, 0 rushing yards. That right there is a strike for me. Even though Anthony Richardson is throwing for under 50% right now, when he connects, it's going to connect for a huge gain. He's got Alec Pierce out here catching one offs. You got Michael Pittman catching these 2 yard routes. You never know what's going to happen there. But to be serious, at the end of the day, if you look at the points per game basis, Anthony Richardson's still averaging 15.7 points per game. And this might become a shock to a lot of people, but Matthew Stafford, his best game of the season was 15.7 points. That was against Detroit week 1. He's been ass since. Been consistent. He just won a big football game. Good for him. But what did it do for you in fantasy? Kyron Williams was the one scoring all the fantasy points on that team. Give me the guy who's going to throw 19 times, 20 incompletions possibly with those 19 attempts. You never know with this guy. He cannot throw the football, but he can make plays. When they're in the goal line, when they're doing these read options, Stafford's not doing that. That gives you another wrinkle into your offense, what Anthony Richardson can do. He does throw the ball deep, 12.6 yards per attempt in the air. Literally, he throws the ball 12.6 yards per attempt. That's bananas. Like he shouldn't be doing that since he can't even be accurate with them. But he is doing it. So when they do connect, it's huge. It's for your fantasy team. I'm going with the high ceiling Anthony Richardson against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I understand it's a tough matchup, but give me the high ceiling guy versus the very, very low ceiling guy, Matthew Stafford.
I definitely do agree with that. The things that concern me about Richardson right now is that he's known for the running game. He's not getting involved in the running game. He does have a touchdown in the red zone, which is nice, but that's one. Last week, I guess, I mean, he scored 7.1 points, and that's a high ceiling quarterback, and then that's exactly who Matthew Stafford has to go and play against. You are right, though. His ceilings are high, but his floors are very low. So it's, do I want the safe pick or do I want that extra? This is a toss up. Start one of them. Make a gut check at 12:55 p.m.
No,
on
no,
Sunday.
no.
But
I'm not. No, I'm not doing this. Don't be wavering.
I'm going Stafford. I'm
Stick
sorry.
with
I'm
your.
going
Okay, that's
Stafford
fine.
because the Steelers defense is just that good this year.
Bears defense isn't too bad either, man. The Bears defense held um, Will Levis to a bad game. The Bears defense, man, they held a lot of people to pretty bad games. I don't know if you know that or not, but against Stroud, CJ Stroud, I didn't even have to look this up. It's my mind because I started him. He only had 260 yards and 1 touchdown. Stroud didn't have a very crazy game. The Bears defense is actually pretty solid against the pass. Is Stafford the statue going to be able to avoid that pass rush? That's all I'm going to ask. We know Richardson can. He can break tackles. He can get out there. It seems like they're limiting him in the run game. He's on a downward slope right now. Richardson started so high, 21.1 points, I believe it was, then down to 16, then down to 7. It can't go any further. We saw his floor last week. I think it's only up from here.